Dear students, in today's session, we'll discuss the provisions of section 154 of the Income Tax Act 1961. So what is section 154 stands for? Section 154 provides the procedure regarding rectification of mistake apparent from record. So here the question which is there before is, what is a rectification? And that rectification is in relation to mistake apparent from record. So most importantly, what is a mistake apparent from record? Mistake apparent from record can be simply put as 2 plus 2 equivalent to 5. This is a mistake apparent from record. Neither you nor me would say that this is not mistaken, 100% mistaken thing. So when the department and the assessee both agree on a point that yes, this particular matter is a mistake apparent from record, there is some error involved in this particular matter, this matter needs a rectification. So rectification is a genuine need of a case where there is a mistake apparent from record which is not a disputed matter. Now in a simple manner, how I have put here is, it's an arithmetical error. But sometimes the matter may be beyond arithmetical error even. Say for example, if some claim has been made by the assessee for which the permissible amount of interest on self-occupied housing loan is 2 lakh, but the assessing officer during the course of assessment has considered the full amount of 2.25 lakh. So that is naturally a mistake apparent from record, because the law provides for the limit of housing loan related interest deduction in case of self-occupied house property to be 2 lakh, but AO has wrongly allowed and assessee has wrongly claimed 2.25 lakh. So this is also a mistake apparent from record. Thirdly, when there is some Supreme Court ruling, this can also be a matter apparent from record of requiring a rectification of mistakes. Similarly, when there is a retrospective amendment in law which gives a new interpretation of law, and this new interpretation of law, if applied retrospectively, because the law is a retrospective amendment now, then this may also need a rectification in the previous position which has already been delved into. So prima facie, a mistake apparent from record means an undisputed issue between the assessee and the department. Now, what can be rectified under section 154? There are two components or two features which are subject matter of 154. Either there is an intimation or there is an order. So 154 is possible only when either there is an intimation or there is an order. So I can very clearly say there is no scope of rectification in the case of a notice. It has to be either an intimation or it has to be an order. Now what intimation means? It may mean section 143(1). And what an order means? An order may mean an order of scrutiny assessment, an order of best judgment assessment, an order of income escaped assessment, an order of search assessment, an order of revision under section 263, 264, or an order of CITP under section 250. In other words, I can say where there is an order passed by the income tax authority, that can be subject matter of rectification under section 154. So when there is an intimation or when there is an order, it can be subject matter of rectification provided there is a mistake apparent from record. Now a question comes that at whose stance such rectification would be done. This rectification would be done either at the stance of the assessee or at the stance of the income tax authority, which is called suo motu rectification by the income tax authority. And in a third case, where CIT appeal is the income tax authority, even the assessing officer can make an application to the CIT appeal for making a necessary rectification in the case. So these are three persons or three situations: assessee making an application, income tax authority making a suo motu rectification in an order, in an intimation passed by it, or where the authority is CIT appeal, then you may also approach for the rectification. Okay. So having decided that there is a rectification required of a mistake apparent from record in an intimation or in an order, and one of these three circumstances there, a rectification application is filed and this rectification application has to be considered by the relevant income tax authority. So income tax authority would see into the case and would find that yes, if it is a case of mistake apparent from record, it will pass a rectification order, and if it finds that no, there is no such rectification required, it would pass an order denying such rectification. Now mind you, when I use the term it would pass an order, it means it is required in each and every case for the relevant income tax authority to pass an order of rectification. What does impact it carries? It carries an impact that where an order of section 154 is there and the assessee or the department is not satisfied, then they may go into appeal even. So a rectification, if not done in your favor, but you are looking for that the rectification is required and you are not satisfied with the order passed by income tax authority, you can file an appeal before the CRT appeal or before the ITAT, depending on the order, who has passed such particular order. So this is the rectification's remedy. And one important point is, what is the time limit of making a rectification? The time limit of making rectification would depend on whether the income tax authority or the suo motu does the rectification, or where an assessee has applied for the rectification. If the assessee has applied for rectification, the time limit is 6 months from the end of the month in which application is made by the assessee, and where the income tax authority itself is doing rectification, the time limit is 4 years from the end of the financial year in which the relevant order for which the rectification is required was passed by the authority. Let me give an example. Let's say on 30th of January 2015, an assessment order under section 143(3) was passed by the assessing officer, and assessee makes an application for rectification on 4th of April 2015. This rectification must be passed within 6 months from the end of the month. I mean to say 30th of April plus 6 months, 31st of October 2015. If the assessee does not find any mistake apparent from record and he is wishing to do a suo motu rectification in this case, he will enjoy the time limit of 4 years from the end of the financial year in which the relevant order was passed by him. That would mean 31st of March 2015 plus 4 years, that is 31st of March 2019. So after knowing all these things, let me conclude it once again. Rectification under section 154 is possible if there is a rectification required for a mistake apparent from record. Such mistake apparent from record may be there in an intimation, may be there in an order. Intimation may be of 143(1), order may be of 143(3), 144, 147, 153(8), 263, 264 or 250. And when a rectification is proposed, either it may be at the stance of assessee, at the stance of income tax authority suo motu, and before CRT appeal it may be AO even who may be an applicant. Once it is there, then an order is passed considering whether the rectification matter is involved or not. Finally, if you are not satisfied, then you may go into appeal even. The time limit factor also considered by us, where the assessee applies, it is 6 months from the end of the month, and where the AO or the income tax authority suo motu wishes to do a rectification, the time limit is 4 years from the end of the financial year in which order sought to be amended was passed. Thank you.